All right, and we are live. How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to Absolute Zero's podcast. Um, I'm your host, Josh, and with me tonight we have Steven.
Well,
We're supposed to have one more person, but if he shows up, he shows up. But for now, it's just us two. So, I guess we can get straight into it. Let's just point out the big elephant in the room, that being Sony and Disney's deal with Spider-Man has essentially hit a wall right now.
I would consider that kind of an understatement, honestly. More like a series of walls followed by a really fat dude eating chicken strips.
Well, that's an even better description than what I had in
Um,
mind. But yeah, talks with between Disney and Sony have yet again hit a very low point. Sony wanted to only give Disney 5% of the earnings that they made off of any Spider-Man movie, and Marvel wanted to do 50-50.
yeah. And by the way, it wasn't just the 50-50 deal was not just Marvel taking more money. I want to point that out. It
Mm-hmm.
also included Marvel and Sony both. Uh, I think I forgot who it was, but I think it was like Sony was, financing the movies a little bit, but it was mainly Marvel.
Yeah.
This deal would have made it to where Sony would also have to finance more of the movies. They would have to finance the movies a little bit more, just the Spider-Man movies.
Mm-hmm.
Um, which I think is 100% fair, because it is their character,
Yes, it is.
their rights that they are letting Marvel use.
Yeah, and looking at it at a certain point of view, that Sony asking for, or Sony saying they wanted to give Marvel a 5%, um, 5% back for everything they got is actually a pretty fair deal if you look at it in another way, because Sony isn't just Sony. They have TriStar. They also have Columbia Pictures under them, as well as Sony Pictures Animation. So they got quite a few other studios. Mind you, they're studios that haven't been doing that well, but I mean, they still have to support their own staff too. And Disney has money to spare, apparently.
Yeah, of course Disney has money to spare. I mean, when you look at, the live action remakes that are doing very well, regardless of what you think of them.
Hitting
Uh,
$1 billion in their sleeps.
the Marvel movies, the fact that I want to say it was like out of the top 10 movies that have made $1 billion, five of them are Marvel movies or Disney movies total. So it's like they have the money, and I think it wouldn't be out of the option to either see soon either Marvel attempt to buy Sony Pictures or I don't say that as a joke. I think they actually might try, or uh, see them actually offer Sony a lot of money for the rights to Spider-Man,
I
because
could I
everyone
could
has their
see
price, and I'm really curious as to what they were offering them in the past for the rights to Spider-Man. The question is Sony willing to make the price reasonable?
I could see Marvel offering a lot of money. I couldn't see Disney offering a lot of money a for a single character and his rogues gallery to be put a to be put in under the Marvel banner, because I mean
Well, you also have to remember the rights that Sony owns to Spider-Man is not just like, Spider-Man
they're
and some of his villains. It's 300 total characters.
yeah. Sony
So it,
Sony isn't Sony doesn't
and
own Spider-Man. They're leasing it.
well, well, no, they own the rights to Spider-Man, the
No,
movie rights.
no, yeah, but they're leasing it from Marvel because they have to make a movie every so often, or else the rights go back to Marvel.
I don't think that's no, that's not it. Basically, what happened was in the '80s,
Or is that Fantastic
Marvel was
Four?
sell. Well,
Yeah,
it's not
that's.
Fantastic Four anymore.
Oh, yeah, that's Fantastic Four.
It's definitely not them anymore. But so yeah, because Sony bought the rights back in like the '80s,
Yeah, I
you
think.
know,
Yeah, sorry. I
for
think
it.
I am. I think I was thinking of Fantastic
Um,
Four.
I think you're thinking of Star Wars and EA. Because EA made Battlefront around the time, or they released their first Battlefront game around the time that their rights were getting ready to be reverted back to Disney for the rights to make Star Wars games. But let's not
Yes.
talk about that. Let's not talk about
Let's
that
not talk
dumpster
about the
fire.
devil. Let's not talk about
Let's
the devil just yet.
let's talk about this dumpster fire over here. So, I genuinely think I could see Disney wanting that because they know how big. And yeah, I mean, you could say that well, don't want this for just this one character, but it's 300 characters. They know how popular Spider-Man is, especially since Far From Home made $1 billion
Mm-hmm.
already.
Yeah,
Um, and they know how popular Tom Holland is. They know how popular his movies are.
and they're
I don't
planning on
think,
re-releasing Far From Home too.
yeah, and Far From Home is getting re-released. They're
It's not. It's
re-releasing it with a 4-minute scene.
yeah. It's that. Honestly, that's still a stupid move to do.
Um,
Even though it worked for Endgame and pushed it over $7.8 billion.
um, but with Spider-Man, I think we could possibly see them just attempt to say, "Hey, we're gonna buy the rights from you."
And Sony, in all their wisdom, and because they own the rights and know how freaking popular Spider-Man is, because it literally is their most popular IP. Sony has the right to ask for billions of dollars.
Yeah, I think they will if they
Yeah,
do it.
they would ask for like $10 billion for Spider-Man.
But indefinitely, that's honestly a small price to pay when you look at how much profit the MCU has made,
Mm-hmm.
which is a couple $100 billion in profit total. That's not just from theatrical releases, that's from everything: merchandise,
Mm-hmm.
DVD sales, tickets, everything.
Yeah.
It's a couple $100 billion, if close to it. They,
I would say maybe in the upper $100 billion.
yeah, if Sony said, "Hey, we'll sell you the rights, but we want 5-10 billion dollars," I would say go for it. You have the money to spare. It's not like you guys are hurting for it. The fans want it. They want it. Just do it. You know. Although, what strikes me as hilarious is that this news came just a day after Sony did something amazing in buying Insomniac Games.
Oh, they did that? I did not hear
Hmm.
about that.
Yeah, they bought Insomniac Games because of obviously how well the Spider-Man game did that they made, which was a fantastic game. Obviously,
It was. I still need to finish it.
um, it's getting a Game of the Year edition. Supposedly that leaked.
Hmm.
So,
What?
um,
What? Going on a side tangent. What really is the difference between the regular game and Game of the Year edition?
Game of the Year editions come with all of the DLCs.
Oh, nah.
It's basically just like people are, they look at the DLC and they go, but I don't really want to buy the game plus the DLC, for an extra cost, so I'll just wait, you know.
Hmm. Okay.
It's a bigger bang for the buck,
Okay.
basically. Um,
Anyways.
but so two basically related Spider-Man content or things from Sony. Well, one is great, and then the other one is Sony going, "Hey, we have to balance out the scales. Let's fuck something up." I can just see Shuhei Yoshida just sitting there rubbing his hands together, going, "Good, good,
Good.
good,
Good.
perfectly balanced." As he puts on, his iron on his Infinity Gauntlet and snaps.
Honestly, I'm I don't I if this falls anymore, I'm just expecting Disney to not care in any way and just kick Spider-Man from the MCU. I could totally see them doing that.
You can see Sony doing it or Marvel.
Marvel kicking Spider-Man from the MCU.
I'm torn because I could possibly see them doing it,
Because
but
to
at
be
the same
honest, how
time,
big of an
that
impact is
public
Spider-Man in the
opinion,
MPU?
public opinion is everything for Marvel and Disney when it comes to the MCU, obviously, because the public opinion is what drives ticket sales.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously,
Yeah.
you know, if they do it, they're gonna have to retcon
Big
because
time. Yeah.
they are setting up Spider-Man Peter Parker as the next Tony Stark. They are setting him up as the next Iron Man. He is most likely going to become the next Iron Man figure, and someone else will probably take up the actual mantle of Spider-Man. That's what I'm guessing at this point. Um,
And we have
After all, they did say that him and Captain Marvel were both supposed to lead Phase 4.
and there's no
Um,
Captain Marvel in sight, thankfully.
so with Captain Marvel being a dumpster fire and the negotiations being a dumpster fire, um, I don't know. It's
They
possible
have
the negotiations are still going on. I don't think this has any impact on the third film as of right now, considering that the third film was under the original contract and original agreement,
mhm.
and that this was just an extension on that agreement.
Yeah, they have said that um, that the talks are still going on. So
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's not without the it's not outside the realm of possibilities that that we're just blowing this out of proportion and we're just hearing a snippet of something of just a bump in the road for them that they will finally come to an agreement. This is just a little bump in the road that they just haven't come to an agreement on anything yet. So I mean,
And
yeah.
I think this could be a negotiating tactic on Marvel's part because they are the ones that broke the news. They're the ones that said, "Hey, Disney wants to pull out of this deal," or they said Sony wants to pull out of this deal. Here's what the deal was.
Mm-hmm,
Now,
mm-hmm.
that to me, when that news broke, them announcing what the deal was and roughly just saying like, "Hey, this is what it was," mainly was a big. I know probably to a lot of people that was probably like, "Oh, okay, who cares?" That really says a lot because if they were willing to actually say, "This is what we were offering them," then they're saying, "Hey, we think that this deal was a good deal. We genuinely think that. We think that the majority of people will also see that. We're trying to show that they are unreasonable." So they're trying to get the public opinion on their side. Like I said, public opinion means quite a bit, quite a lot for Marvel, Sony, and all them. Public opinion right now is on Marvel's side.
Yeah, especially with this story right here, boycott Sony is trending on Twitter after Spider-Man splits.
Yeah. Um, so I think this is a I think this is 100% legitimately just a tactic on Marvel / Disney's part to try and get Sony to accept the deal or somewhat close to it. Um, you know, hopefully it works. I for one would love to see Tom Holland continue as Spider-Man.
Yeah,
Um,
I would too.
because in my opinion, he's the best one so far. He's a breath of fresh air after Andrew Garfield. Also, I want to congratulate Sony on their attempt on keeping the tradition alive of fucking up the third Spider-Man movie.
Okay, go on.
Because Spider-Man 3 with emo dancing Peter Parker was a disaster.
Yes, I was.
Amazing Spider-Man 3 never happened, although it was supposed to. And now the idea of Spider-Man 3 in the MCU is in the balance. It's just hanging up in the air.
That it is. And I did a video the other day, but I said on there, if they do decide to pull Spidey and Tom Holland from the MCU, I would not be surprised if they cut all ties to the MCU in the third Spider-Man movie. Like, no Stark Enterprises, no Stark Tower, no Happy Hogan, or anything
Well,
connected
yeah,
to the
and
MCU.
that's one of the things is that if that was actually in the deal, is that when the deal's up, they can continue with Tom Holland as Spider-Man in, for Sony, just Sony making their own movies, but they cannot include it in the MCU at all. Nothing from the MCU, no mentions of it, anything. It's basically got to be like starting from scratch.
Mm-hmm.
We get 2 more movies from Sony, and then another actor in a few years will play him in 2 more movies. And then another actor will actually get a third movie, but it will be a repeat of the emo dancing Peter Parker.
I
Except this
mean,
time it will be a black trans woman in a wheelchair.
we already got a clip of Spider-Man doing that emo dance in Into the Spider-Verse, and that was pretty hysterical.
Um, but I I don't think I think it's gonna come. I think the talks are gonna smooth out. Sony's
Yeah,
gonna see that public opinion is against them. They're gonna see that, oh, if we do anything worse to jeopardize this, we're going to be the bad guys. And public opinion like this will transfer onto Venom 2. And even though it could be a good movie, it will probably get review bombed. If, say, worst case scenario, say the apocalypse scenario happens and they decide, nope, we're good, we're taking Spider-Man out. And Sony just takes Spider-Man and leaves. I don't see that going good for Venom 2 at
yeah,
all.
yeah. I don't.
Venom 2 would be review bombed, it would be boycotted, it wouldn't do well. It would be a bomb. It would bomb at the box office.
Yeah, and it's still surprising how the first the first Venom movie did remarkably well, even though it was kind of meh.
Yeah. Well, you could also chalk that up to them filming an R-rated movie and then cutting it down to PG-13.
Come on, guys, give us the full R-ratedness. We want to see that
Um,
Venom blood.
but I don't see I don't see Tom Holland not being in the MCU. I think it's going to smooth out. He's going to continue being in the MCU. Spider-Man will continue to be there. This is the internet doing what the internet does best, especially Twitter, which is overreacting.
Twitter is very much overreacting, and
You know,
what's interesting is that even Jeremy Renner got in on this on Instagram. He made a post saying, "Hey, Sony Pictures, we want Spider-Man back to the
yeah.
real Stan Lee and Marvel.
Um,
Please, thank you, congrats, Spider-Man rocks."
even and Ryan Reynolds even said, even Ryan Reynolds got in on it and said that he thinks it should be, Spider-Man in the MCU. and the rights given to Marvel. You know,
He
so
just
I don't
wants
know.
that Spidey Deadpool bromance.
We'll see what happens, but ultimately, it's not going to change much. If anything, I think the more likely scenario is that they'll just re-agree to the deal. They'll just keep the same cut that they've been doing. You know,
Yeah.
because I do think part of this is Marvel. You know, sitting there saying, "Hey, thinking, well, they know how popular he is, so if we ask for more, they'll be forced to say yes."
Mm-hmm.
I don't blame them for doing it, but at the same time, some of the blame does go on them as well.
Yeah.
Not all of it, but some of it. Um, but yeah, that's about all I got to say about the Spider-Man.
Me too. Um, one one second, I'm trying to find a story. But did you hear that Kevin Smith is actually planning to do a continuation of? I think it was continuation of Masters of the Universe,
Yes,
or it was it?
Netflix.
Yeah,
He is making a Masters of the Universe anime for Netflix, which
there it
is
is.
interesting to me because this is the second project for He-Man that we know about.
Yeah, the first is the live action movie, which is
The
gonna
live
be
action
terrible.
movie, I don't think so. I think the live action movie is actually going to be pretty good
Really,
because
with the choice that they got for.
I don't think that the movie. I don't think they're going to do what they did with the first live action Masters of the Universe movie, which is put He-Man on Earth.
Yeah, but did you see the guy they got for He Man?
And I think he's going to be really good.
Uh,
Never underestimate power of practical effects in making someone look closer to the character. But then
I
again,
thought you were about to say never underestimate the power of Grayskull.
you're saying that, but also remember when Robert Downey Jr. was announced to play Iron Man, people were like, "Really, him?"
Yeah, that's true.
And now look, I've legitimately called Robert Downey Jr. Tony Stark a few times in a conversation, just to remember that he is not actually Tony Stark. He just plays Tony Stark.
Yeah,
Um,
but yeah, I don't know. I'm really interested in this Master of the Universe
I
for
think
Kevin Smith.
I think doing an anime of it is a little odd to me, you know, because I don't really associate Masters of the Universe with Japanese animation.
I mean, it probably isn't going to be wholly anime, maybe anime inspired, like the that early 2000, like the last Thundercats reboot
Oh, the
that got
Cal art,
canceled.
the one that was done in the style of the Cal art style one that they did. That was awful.
The no the anime one, the reboot that only got one
Oh,
season.
I thought you were talking about the one that Cartoon Network did, where it was Cal art
The
that they were doing it in.
Thundercats Ho or something like that.
I don't know. Who cares? Cal art fucking sucks. It's good in a few shows like Steven Universe, but other than that, it needs to go away.
Yeah,
It's lazy.
I think it'll be pretty interesting anime style or anime inspired.
I love how Kevin Smith is coming back because he's kind of been gone away for a little bit, you know.
He has like he's
Mainly
coming back with
raising Harley Quinn, his daughter.
yeah.
Um, he's not really done much outside of Comic Book Men and Hollywood Babylon, and of course Comic Con because
Mm-hmm.
he hosts a show for Comic Con as well. Outside of those things, there's not really much, and all of a sudden he announces, hey, I'm doing Jay and Silent Bob reboot, which looks fantastic.
Yeah.
Which has Val Kilmer in it in a in a Batman inspired blunt man
And
outfit.
have you read his Batman graphic novel, Cacophony?
I have not.
It is amazing, and I wish he had done a continuation of it because it left on a cliffhanger and it was amazing. But
Um,
I think Kevin Smith is amazing for just about anything comic book related.
yeah, him and Brian Quinn are really good.
Mm-hmm.
Which I believe he also I can't did Kevin Smith do Comic Book Men, or was that Brian Quinn?
He was involved in Comic Book Man.
He was involved. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're both just huge nerds. And when that scene in the trailer for Jay and Silent Bob reboot
Mm-hmm.
happened, where it showed Quinn at Comic Con saying, "What do you think of this reboot?" And they just go, "I'm not gonna lie, it fucking sucks. Who's directing this shit anyway? Kevin fucking Smith."
Da-da-da-da.
I saw Quinn and I just started laughing and knew immediately I had to go see that movie.
I've honestly never seen any of the Jay and Silent Bob movies, but
I strongly suggest it, although it's more than just the Jay and Silent Bob main movies. The first movie they appeared in was called Clerks,
yeah.
and it's on Hulu. You can watch it if you have Hulu.
Oh, really? Hmm.
It is filmed entirely in black and white, but the movie's really good.
All right,
So,
I'll do that.
um, but yeah, no, I think it's really cool. Speaking of, Kevin Smith in this, I think it's really cool. Like, this is how much comic book nerd this guy is. He named his daughter Harley Quinn.
Yeah.
Her name is Harley Quinn Smith.
Then again, Robin Williams named his daughter Zelda. Two massive nerds right there.
Did not know that.
Yeah, yeah, he did.
No. All right,
Zelda Williams.
You learn something new every day.
Mm-hmm. On another note, have you heard anything about the Mandalorian?
Yes, trailer coming out on Friday.
Yes, I am very excited.
Jon Favreau, I know, is either producing or directing it or creating it. I don't know.
He's very much involved, and it already has a season 2 scheduled to be coming out too, or starting to film this October.
I'm skeptical, but I'm gonna give it a shot.
It's supposed to take place after episode 6, so I'm really excited about that.
Like I said, I'm skeptical, but I'm gonna give it a shot. Let's hope it's more Force Awakens than it is Last Jedi.
Yeah, at least it's not going to be Last Jedi. Because that movie sucked.
No, the movie did suck, but that's the scene that was 100% silent was amazing.
That is true, though.
That
Holdo should not have been the one to die.
It was. I saw that scene. I saw that, like just how they filmed it and everything. I was just blown away by it. It was really nice. I liked that scene. I'd like to see that scene done in a better movie. Speaking of franchises that most people think should die, Avatar.
You mean James Cameron's Avatar? Yes, wholly full-heartedly.
Vin Diesel is going to be in the sequels.
Why?
So that's going to be interesting. We do know that he's planning on a sequel every other year. There's going to be 4 total sequels, one every other year, starting in 2021.
Yeah, yeah. Oh my god, this is ridiculous. I it it just where do
Um,
you, honestly, the movie was trash.
I I enjoyed it.
It was Pocahontas and Fern Gully in space.
I enjoyed it. It was a good movie to go turn your brain off and watch. It entertained me, which is what I go, which is what I look
The
for in a
only
movie.
great thing about that movie were the visuals,
Um,
was the CGI.
yeah, I'm willing to give Avatar 2 a chance, mainly because here's what's weird to me: Sigourney Weaver is returning,
Hmm.
even though I'm pretty sure her character died in the first movie, but she's returning as a different character.
Okay then.
Um, so I'm really curious because he did announce Sigourney Weaver is returning, and the guy that played the villain of the first movie, um, the guy that played, the human villain, the guy that played the general,
Yeah.
who died in the first movie, is also returning as that same role. So he didn't die.
Damn, it's been 10 years since
Yes.
first Avatar.
It's been 10 years.
Jeez. What the Oh, Stephen Lang.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the colonel.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's how
Have you
did
seen?
how
Have
did
you seen? Have you seen Jack's Film's video where him and one of his friends went and offered people $5 if they could name a character from Avatar without looking it up?
No, I haven't.
Only one person was able to get it, and they just went with the main character, which is Sully.
Hmm. It's like, how did this movie gain $7 billion?
It was made by James Cameron, and it was honestly not that bad, but I wouldn't consider it, one of the best movies ever made. Visually stunning movie. It was awesome to see in 3D. I will say that. Um, However, speaking of movies that you would think would be trash but are not, let's talk about Good Boys.
Please tell me about Good Boy because I've
Do
seen the
you
trailers.
like do you like early South Park?
I love early South Park.
Do you like 12-year-olds? Don't answer that question. Do you like do you do you think Superbad would be even better if the characters were all 12 years old?
I've never seen Superbad, but I'm gonna say yes.
Then Good Boys is for you. This movie was really good.
Do you like 12-year-old boys?
um this was a movie. It's a raunchy comedy about three 12-year-old boys starting sixth grade who are about to do the most important thing they will ever do in their lives, which is attend a boy girl party where they will kiss a girl for the first time.
Scandalous.
It is a simple plot,
Very
but
simple.
it is the first movie I think I've ever been entertained by that had three different endings, all shown.
What?
There's like three or four different endings to this movie.
But
It
does
makes
it?
the movie a little bit longer than it should be, but it executes it in such a way that is just amazing because it gives the three main characters each an ending, and then gives them all three one ending.
Hmm.
Um, there are some. I honestly think that this is going to be a really good movie. This is a really good movie. I strongly suggest going to watch it especially if you love earlier South Park, like season 1 or 2, where everything happened because of how naive the boys were.
Uh huh.
Because these kids are naive throughout this entire fucking movie.
Oh yeah, I've seen the trailers.
Like
God damn.
they're legitimately, it just spirals out of control because of how naive they were, because of how naive they are. I also love. By the way, this is the guy that directed this movie. This is his first time directing a movie.
Really?
Yeah, he's done a few TV stuff before, but this is his first time directing a feature length movie. I personally think he actually did a really good job. There are a couple things that feel off.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh, maybe that line actually should have been said by an adult. Like
I've heard
legitimately,
that.
there's, and it's not because of anything that they say which is actually profane. It's because of the things that they say that breaks their naivete.
Yeah, I've heard that from one other
you know.
person.
Um, and I'm not gonna spoil it, what it is, but it's a really good movie. There is a twist in the movie, which is also really good. Um, I love how one of the teachers has a coke problem in the movie.
Wait, what?
They literally show him snorting coke off of his finger, and it's
Oh
great.
my
When you see
god.
it, you're like, wait, did he just? Oh my god, he did.
Oh jeez.
Um, Ultimately, the movie did speak to me because it's one of those movies where it's like, yeah, this is a lesson I've already learned in life, but at the same time, seeing other people go through it's emotional. Watching them discover this lesson of, hey, life sucks. you know,
Yeah.
um, I'm really excited to see what the director does. I'm hoping there's a Good Boys 2, which puts them in high school,
Oh my
but
god.
I want it to wait until the same actors are old enough to do it.
I could see them doing that.
Because I want them to wait until those actors are actually in high school. I don't want anyone else. Um, I think these actors, these kids, the three kids that are in the movie, honestly, I see them going on to do actually pretty good things
Hmm.
in their movie careers. I think they'll do good. Um,
Let me
there
see.
there is a scene in the trailer where they're at a supermarket or a convenience store,
Hmm.
uh, and one of them attempts to buy a beer,
Oh my god. How
and
stupid are you?
there's a cop, and so he hides it in his pants.
Oh
This is in the trailer, and you just watch him walk up. And in the trailer, it's done in slow motion where he's walking up, and then it shows the cop, and the cop looks over at him in slow motion, looks down, sees the beard, rolls his eyes. It is done that exact same way in the movie, which I love.
jeez.
But that scene is longer. It's in the trailer, and it's also in the movie, but it's longer than it is in the trailer. And the actual scene that plays out is way fucking funnier than is actually in the trailer.
Oh damn.
Because what's funny is, he in the trailer. This is the part in the trailer. He looks at the beer bottle, says, "What is that in your pants?" And the kid says, "My penis." he goes, he goes, "I know. I was born like this." And he goes, "Whip it out." And he just pulls out the beer bottle. The scene is way funnier in the movies. And I just gotta say, friends let friends cross highway traffic together. That's all I'm gonna say on that.
Let's see, the three kids' names are Jacob Tremblay, Keith L. Williams, and Brady Noon,
Yeah. By the
playing
way,
Max, Lucas, and Thor respectively.
and Thor, yes.
Just what Thor
I
really?
love how in the movie the black kid, they're accused of hating women, and he says, "I don't hate women." This is even in the trailers. He says, "I don't hate women. My mom is my best friend." I love how he owns it. He just comes out and says it. My mom is my best friend. Fucking owns it.
That's good. That's
It's
good.
amazing.
One movie that I was really that I'm really looking forward to that I think is coming out pretty soon, if not this week, is Angel Has Fallen.
That is out today.
Oh, good.
And from the reviews I've heard is that it's more London Has Fallen than London Has Fallen. So, or Olympus Has Fallen. So
I mean,
it's
the
closer to the first movie than it is the second movie, which I thought the second. I didn't see the second movie, but I kind of expected it to be good. Might not watch it now, but I definitely will watch the third one.
I mean, the Olympus Has Fallen series has been pretty decent, more decent
Yeah,
than you
it's
would actually expect.
I watch reviews of movies when they come out, and shout out to John Jans, you know, for doing amazing reviews. Um, he did that, and he one of the things he said about it is that like it's just a fun '90s action movie.
Hell
It's
yeah.
stupid. There's no logic behind it. You just go and watch it and enjoy it. You know, um, I saw the trailer and I thought, okay, that actually looks pretty badass. I might have to go see this. And I completely forgot that Morgan Freeman was in it, and then I realized I had to go see it because it has Morgan Freeman. Um, so speaking of movies that came out today, Ready or Not.
I've heard about that.
I've heard. I have not seen it yet. I'm going to see it on Saturday. Um, as well as going to see Good Boys again. Um, definitely gonna go watch that again.
Yeah,
But I'm going to watch Ready or Not, and I am super excited about this.
so far 93% on Rotten Tomatoes.
It is. Oh, the score's increased then since the last time I saw it.
Yeah,
Because the last
I've
time I
heard.
checked it, it was 90.
Yeah, I've heard
So,
good things about this.
um, John Jans again said it's a super messed up plot. It's a messed up movie,
Of course it
but it
is.
works.
Of
You know, he's
course it.
like, it's messed up, but it's funny, and they stick with it. They are completely aware of what this movie is, and they are fine with it.
Well, yeah, it's the bride, or I think his bride to be has to hide from all the relatives and
Yeah.
try to kill her.
So the plot of the movie is that this man and this woman get married, and his family is super fucking rich,
Hmm.
and that they have a tradition, which is they play a game that the bride gets by surprise, or bride or husband, I think it is. And they play that game. Not all the games are deadly. For instance, in one of the trailers, one of the women who's been married in the family for a few years says she got chess.
Hmm.
Considering she's alive and that we know that not all of the games are deadly, I'm assuming it was just a night of them playing chess, which sounds super fucking white. Um,
I mean, they are white.
she draws the card and it's hide and seek, and then the family has until dawn to kill her, or something bad happens to the family. I'm
Huh.
not sure what that something bad is. It's in the synopsis. I'm hoping it's fucked up. There's a trailer that I've never seen before for that movie that played before Good Boys, and it was legitimately a few scenes of one of the characters accidentally killing the butlers and maids. And the family is constantly yelling at her because of it.
Can't
like
say the
one of the
butler did it.
maids like one of the maids pops in to the room to check up that they're all right. She turns around with the crossbow and accidentally fires an arrow into the girl's mouth.
Oh my god.
And they're just like, "Oh, come on."
I'm looking forward to seeing this now.
So, I don't know. I'm going to see it. Definitely give a review of it next time. Um However, another movie I'm really looking forward to besides that and at Chapter 2, I'm looking forward to that.
Hmm.
Is a movie that comes out the same day as it. However, it's not going to be a wide release, I think. It's going to be a special Fathom event. It's Rob Zombie's 3 from Hell.
Oh my god.
Captain Spaulding returns. It has been, I want to say 12 years. Yeah, 12 years since Captain Spaulding and his two children, I guess you could say, have been in a movie, which is unique. And I'm really curious as to what the 3 from Hell is going to be like. I watched one of the trailers for it today, and it involved a very graphic stabbing scene.
Yeah.
where you just hear the knife puncture the skin and meat, and you can hear the blood gurgling out of the body, and it sounded really gross. I
Mm,
cannot wait to see this.
damn.
I cannot wait to see this. So, really looking forward to it.
Oh, yeah, it says it's a sequel to Hell's
Devil's
Reject.
Rejects.
Devil's
Yeah,
Reject,
Devil's
yeah.
Rejects. Yeah.
Sequel to a movie from 2005. Damn.
2005, so it's been 14 years then. Jesus.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. Well, that's it. Um, I do want to say, obviously, I did end up watching Rocco's Modern Life, Static Cling.
I haven't seen it yet. I hear it's
You
good.
haven't?
No.
I watched it. It's only 45 minutes. I will say that. It's only 45 minutes.
Yeah,
I
it's a
enjoyed
TV
it. I thought
special.
it was, yeah, I thought it was really good. And I did like the message, which I found kind of ironic. Found the message of it to be pretty ironic. Um, but ultimately, I thought it was really good. I enjoyed it. It really felt like a natural progression for the series, and I hope that Netflix picks it up and does more. I would love to see Rocco's Modern Life come back.
Same with Invader Zim.
I
And
have not seen Enter the Florpus yet. I'm paying my Netflix bill on Friday. I had to let it lapse for a little bit, but
yeah, yeah, I feel that.
I'm I'm definitely paying. I haven't watched too much Invader Zim, but what encouraged me to know that I want to watch this movie was a scene from the original series where Dib goes to his father, and
Oh.
his father says, "Hold on, Dib, I am inventing toast." I saw that and I was like, I've got to watch this.
Yep. I'm looking forward to
Um,
seeing that.
plus, plus the trailer for it where Zim comes out of his house and he's greeted by this fat fucking loser, who he starts complaining to about Dib, and then he says, "By the way, who are you?" And he goes, "I'm Dib." I was like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I saw that.
um, so I have to watch that. Yeah, no, there's that. There's quite a bit of stuff to watch on Netflix, although I don't use it as often.
Yeah,
I've really I've really just gotten into watching cable again, which is weird to say. I've gotten into watching True TV, and just getting home from work
because
and watching
it's more or
Impractical
less
Jokers.
it's because kind of more or less expensive than having to pay for 17 different streaming services.
Yeah,
Mm.
but I don't know. I canceled my HBO because I don't use it enough. And even though there is a great selection of movies on there, I just I'd rather watch Impractical Jokers. I've just been watching that and loving that show, which I also recently found out has been on the air for 9 years
Yeah, man.
at this point. So I'm really curious as to how long this show is going to go on.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
It's a good
speaking
show.
of long-running television series, The Goldbergs.
Oh man.
I'm in the official Goldbergs fan club on Facebook. We actually have the creator and Adam himself in there.
Really?
Yeah, it's actually him. The guy who filmed everything and created the show and everything like that. Yeah, he's in that group. He interacts with people.
That's really cool.
Um, Someone asked, when the show ends, or if the show ends, how do you think they should end it? And I came up with the most logical, reasonable ending, which would be to have the real life Adam Goldberg asleep in bed
It's all a
with
dream.
with his family, with his wife, because he is married, I don't know if he has kids, but I said, his wife and his kids staring at him. They wake him up and say it's almost as if he's been asleep since the 80s. And he replied saying, "That's an idea, but the idea of being on television scares me." So he does not want to be on the television show itself, although a lot of the people who are in the show, the characters in the show, the real life people,
Mm-hmm.
have been on the show. So a lot of the, real life characters have been involved in the episodes that their actual stories were based on.
I don't doubt it.
But one of the things I find kind of funny about that show is that it doesn't take place in a specific. It just takes place in the 80s.
Yeah, not a
You know,
specific year.
and he's even said that because he explained why is because he didn't want to give the idea that the show was going to be a limited series. Like, oh, it's only going to take place for this many seasons and then we're over. No, he's like, I want the ability for this show to go on for as long as I want it to go on.
Yeah.
Which is why in one episode there's a pair of shoes that he's wearing that were released in 1985, but he's going to watch Ghostbusters. Or there's like a movie that was released in like 1989, but he's going to watch Ghostbusters at that same theater. There's inconsistencies there.
Yeah.
Like, oh, hey, it's basically like where everything is happening at once in the 80s. And it works.
Yeah, I
I
can see
watched that
that.
show. It's really good.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
The only thing I find weird is that in real life, he did not have a sister. He just had two older brothers. So I'm really curious as to why they gave him a sister in the show, or why he wrote Erica instead of Eric.
Maybe he always wanted a sister.
I don't know. I'm thinking that's the explanation. I should ask him.
you let
I
me
should
know.
just post going, oh, why?
Dude, why? You want to talk about that? Something going on there? Something we should know about?
So.
But yeah. I think that's a good enough spot to end the show on. I do actually enjoy the Goldbergs myself. It's a real good show.
I did want to speak lightly on Gamescom in Germany.
Ooh, what's going on Gamescom?
Quite a few games were announced. It's over now, but quite a few games were announced. A standout for me, Kerbal Space Program 2 was announced, which is not going to just be on PC. It's coming to Xbox and PS4 as well. However, a standout for me that was actually a little surprising. I did not expect this. Little Nightmares 2. I don't know if you played the first Little Nightmares.
I've never played. I don't think I've ever played it.
It's a really good game. Suggest playing it. Looking forward to the second one. It's basically a game where you play a little girl named Six, and you have to hide from these monsters. Like, one of them is a guy that has no legs, but he has really long arms, and he uses his arms to try and find you in places that you can hide in.
Oh God, this looks terrifying.
It's a really good game. It's something that's really fun. It's on Xbox One, PS4, PC, Switch. I'm pretty sure it's on iPhone or on phones. Yeah.
I'll have to check it out.
It's definitely there was a few announcements. GameRanks did a video today, I want to say, where one of the guys went over his top 10 most anticipated games from it. We don't have a release date. We just have a release year on Little Nightmares 2, which is 2020. Sadly, no announcement of a the Switch version of the game, because I want it on Switch. But let's be honest, I own the first one on both PS4 and Switch, so I'm most likely going to buy this one on PS4 and Switch.
Hmm. I'll definitely take a look at it.
Yeah, it's a good game. It's definitely a game to play. It's really fun.
Yeah.
It's definitely a must buy if you like survival horror, if you like platforms, if you like indie feeling games. It's
Mm-hmm.
definitely a game to watch out for. Another game that was announced. Curious about it. Possibly going to pick it up. The Blair Witch game. They are.
Okay.
I want to say this was announced by Sony. There's going to be a Blair Witch Project game, which does not seem to, from what I saw in the trailer, does not seem to be based on the movies per se. Which means you won't be, it doesn't seem linear. It seems more like a walking simulator where you're just thrown into the middle of the woods, and they say, "Go, discover the story," which I think is how it should have been done. If you're going to do that, I think that's how it should be done. Skeptical, definitely going to pick it up though.
Well, there is one thing that says like gonna be released August 30th, but that's coming up pretty soon, and I don't think that's gonna be doing it. So now it says November 21st, 2020, but we'll
Okay.
just have to see.
Um, Another thing that was announced was Stranger Things is going to be coming to Dead by Daylight,
I heard about that. That's really
which
interesting.
is it's it looks like it's going to be an actual pack. It's going to have the Demogorgon as the killer, which makes sense. Um, it looks like it's going to have two survivors. One of those being Steve. This is just I haven't seen much Stranger Things, but to me it looked like the survivors that they showed off is going to be Steve and the one that's played by oh, I forgot her name.
Nancy.
No, is her name Nancy?
I don't know.
The girl that's played by Maya. I forgot her. She's her daughter. Her father. I forgot her father's name now. Her mom was in Pulp Fiction. I know that. She was also in Kill Bill.
Winona Ryder.
No, Winona Ryder is not a 20-something girl anymore. Um,
Uh, I
it's Maya something.
my let's see my.
God, why can I not remember her name now?
I don't know. I haven't seen.
Maya Hawk.
Oh, okay, I haven't seen
Yeah,
season 3.
yeah. She's been in it since the beginning, but her mom is Ethan Hawke, and the woman who was in Stranger Thing or in Kill Bill.
Okay.
Let's see here. Parents. Her mom is Uma Thurman, and her dad is Ethan Hawke.
Hmm.
And yeah, so I think that's yeah. I think that was them in the trailer. I can't be for certain. I hope it is, but I also at the same time I'm like, there's so many characters they could choose from this. Why didn't they pick 11 as the survivor? Or why didn't you choose Will Byers considering season 1, which this is obviously themed after because you're having the Demogorgon.
I don't know. Let's see. It says that Nancy and Steve are going to be entering Dead by Daylight.
Okay. Yeah, so I was right. Nancy and Steve. Okay, Maya Hawke and at least that's the actress's name. Yeah, so that it's a little weird to me considering they're also doing that with the Demogorgon as the killer.
Nancy? No, Nancy's name isn't Maya Hawke.
Oh, it's not?
It's Natalia Dyer.
Okay. Hmm. Gonna have to look that up then.
Yep.
Um, I could have sworn that's Maya Hawke. Oh well.
You're
Oh,
probably
she's in
you're
Stranger
probably thinking of
Things.
something else.
I gotta be thinking about something else. I swear to God, she's in Stranger Things. But no, that's something that for some reason it was kind of shocking to me that they announced Stranger Things for it. But all right, it might actually get me to play it a little bit more.
Maya Hawke is the girl who works with Steve in
Oh, she works at Scoops Ahoy.
yeah
Okay.
in season 3.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
White women look the same to me. All right. I guess that's what we can take away from this conversation.
Wow, sexist.
You're welcome. Um,
And I think that's where we'll leave it tonight. Uh, so thank you everyone in the live stream who joined us. You all are awesome. Everyone after the fact, you all are equally awesome. Thank you, Steven, for coming tonight. This has been fun. So yeah, some stuff that we had to check out: the Stranger Things Dead by Daylight, um, Good Boys, Ready or Not, and a whole bunch of other stuff. So don't forget to hit those buttons, and we'll see y'all later. Bye.